All right, guys, I got a 2015 BMW X5, and I don't know, for a long time I had that TPMS failure, and I had it checked a few times, or at least I attempted to at Mavis, but they suck, so they didn't even do anything with it. So anyways, I got the XTool from Amazon, that TP150, and one of their sensors. Well, I didn't know that I needed one of their sensors, but I got the TP150 first just to see, check the sensors on it. And sure enough, my back left tire, had no signal. You can walk around and check, using the X tool, see what your tire sensors are telling you. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just get one new sensor and replace it, which I was able to do. But I tell you what, those big ass tires on the BMW on the back of it, I just used a bead breaker from my buddy. Man, I almost had to give up. It was a pain in the ass. But once you get it loose, just like any tire, once the bead breaks, it was okay. So I replaced the sensor with the XTool sensor, and then you program it. And then you have to program it, off of your BMW's. You can basically input it, whatever ID tag is on your old BMW sensor. Well, I pulled up the sensor out, and of course it's written or printed on there in little tiny letters. But it's right at the bottom here. I'm going to flip it around so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but right at the bottom there is the ID. And if you look on that, it sure does look like an 8B01E899. So that's what I programmed into my, using the XTool TP150 into the new sensor. So I programmed the new sensor, walk around, check all the other sensors, they're good. So I was like, doing the reset on the BMW, because you can't program it like other cars. This one, you just get on your menu inside the BMW and just have it, do a TPMS scan. So you got to drive around for a little bit. I do the scan and it comes back failure. And I'm like, oh man, what the heck? Maybe it's the actual module that's bad. So anyway, then I was like, well, let me see, maybe I got the ID wrong, from the TPMS sensor, the old one. So I was like, well, if I use the X tool, I can scan the old one if it still works and it's just a dead battery. So what I did is I, removed all the silicone that's around the old battery in the original TPMS sensor. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So here's the old sensor, and you can see I can just pull all of that silicone off of there. And then these two big solder terminals here, this one and then this one, are, the positive and negative that connects to, the little battery here. Well, I just checked the voltage on it. It was like 1 point something millivolts. I'm like, okay, that's probably what's wrong with it. Let me just put another battery in here just in parallel. And so I'll power this thing back up, and then I'll scan it with the X tool again and see what the actual ID tag is. So I just got a little button battery here, from one of my car key fob remotes, and just taped a couple of wires, one on each side of it. And you can just, touch them off. I just taped that one right to the top of the battery. And then the other one I touched off, right on the little solder joint there. And while I was holding it, I went back over to my X tool, and scanned. And it pulled up the ID number. Well, everything was exactly the same except that first digit. So if you remember, when I showed it to you earlier, that sure does look like an 8B, but that's actually a 3. I don't know. All my other ones start with 3 also. So I reprogrammed it, using the XTool TP150 to the 3B instead of 8B, and then took a drive. And sure enough, that new program picked it back up, and actually reset my TPMS, and it's now working again. So I don't know if that's helpful to tell you guys that, but that ID number on my tire TPMS sensor here from the BMW, that if you got an 8 on there and it's not working, it might be a 3, or do what I did, just put another battery in there in parallel and see if you can, actually get the old original ID number on it. Or maybe if it's all dirty and you can't even read it anyways, or scratched up. I mean, it shouldn't be scratched, but you know what I mean? Like if you can't find the old number, if this thing's good enough just to power back up with a new battery, you can get that information and then program your new one off of that. Some cars you can just pull it right off of the OBD, scan, but BMW won't let you do it. So you have to pull it off the old sensor. Anyways, I thought that would be helpful for anybody out there with an X5 or maybe any other BMW models. And it's pretty awesome. With the XTool, yeah, it was 130 bucks for that TP150. I think it was 20 bucks for the tire pressure sensor. But I mean, I got it fixed in about 2 hours, I guess. The hardest part was breaking that bead loose on the tire. And then, it's working again, and I don't have to deal with Mavis or any of these other companies around here if I got to do anything else or fix my wife's car or whatever. So there you go. I'll show you how this thing actually works too, so that it is a little bit confusing, or at least it was to me watching other people's videos. So we're going to turn on the XTool, and we're going to just go to TPMS. Of course, this is for my BMW, so it's Europe. And we're going to go down to BMW. Then we're going to find X series. Okay. Then we're going to go to the 2015. Oops. And then you can do the check, which is kind of what we want to do right now, because I want to see what this old sensor said. But you can do this as you walk around the car as well. So I'm going to hit OK. It's going to tell me that you're clearing the last check. Who cares? But anyways, just in case that's important to you, you're going to clear that out. So it tells you to start with the front left tire. That doesn't really matter to me at the moment. Really what I want to do is power up this other one here. So I'm going to set this to the side just so we can see them both at the same time. Let me bring this up a little higher here. Okay, so we got this. I got my little button battery here with some wires on it, and I'm going to just put it in parallel. So I'm just going to connect it right to this other one. That's the positive. And then I'm going to touch this little terminal right here as the negative. Then I'm going to go to my XTool and say OK. Or actually you hit this little, I don't know, this little like Wi-Fi button. And it looked for it and it found it. And that's all you need to do. Now, if I just need to clear out all these other ones, because you actually have to pretend like you're scanning them all. But if you just hit the back button, it'll put an X next to it. You hit the back, I'll scan it again. It's looking for it. There's no tire, so I'll hit the back button. Then I go to this one, scan it. Hit the back button. Okay. Now I should be able to go back to this one. And then it actually shows me the ID right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, see, it's that 3B01. It's not 8B like it looks like on here. I'm not very good at holding it steady, but you saw it earlier. It was 8B. But on here it shows 3. So that was the way I was able to get this other information off this sensor to actually program the new sensor to the correct ID number so that the BMW TPMS would actually find it. One last thing that I wanted to show you all here, I think other people have it in their video, but just so you're aware, you can do like the relearn on some cars, but on the BMW you can't do the relearn. Like I said, it won't let you do that off the OBD scanner. So you just got to actually reprogram each new sensor manually. So Of course, I only just did one, but so anyways, all you're doing is you get your XTool on. Of course, we're gonna select the TPMS, and again, I'm going to Europe. I'm gonna find BMW here. Then I'm gonna go to X5. Okay. I'm gonna pick the year, 2015. Okay. And then I wanna program my new one. So I don't have my new one here with me, but if I wanted to do it, this is as simple as this. You're gonna hit OK. Then it gives you a couple options here. You can generate an ID, which I don't know how that's gonna help you at all. You can generate multiple IDs. You can copy by input. That's what we want. So I'm gonna hit OK there. And it's telling me, okay, well, you can only do one program at a time. I don't know why that matters, but okay, just so you know. And then you've got obviously hexadecimal or decimal. Hexadecimal just has letters in it, decimal is just numbers. And then literally you're just gonna, you're gonna hit OK and start, scrolling through. So if you remember, mine started with a 3, so you can just go through these till you get to the 3, and then go over, and so on and so forth. Once you're done with that, you just hit OK, and then it's going to look for the old or your new sensor, and you would just like hold it, like let's say this is the new sensor, you can just hold it right up to it and it'll find it immediately. Of course, this one's saying no sensor detected because I don't have a new sensor here, but it will see it and then it will program it. It takes about 10 seconds. But that's it. Then it's ready to go into the car.